influence. This series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. So glad you could join us today. So much going on. Give us a call, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-743-EVANS. Give us a call toll free from anywhere around the world. So glad you could join us. Of course, joining us once again is our world famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. We want to thank Reverend Richard White for sitting in for us for the last few weeks. And we are absolutely overjoyed to see you all again. Our above excellent technical crew is on site again, and we're hoping that this is another great experience for you as we discuss those things that are relevant to you, but always from a kingdom of God, a biblical, a scriptural point of view. That is our foundation. So everything we discuss will always spring from the mind of faith, the word of faith, the word of God. Well, man, what's going on?
Man, just ready to get a lot of stuff to talk about. This thing unfolded the past few days.
Yeah.
It's disheartening to say the least.
Yeah. I think as I look historically and back to the Bible, and I think about when David was made king, and how the nation, as depicted in the Bible, is definitively split between Judah and Israel.
Yeah.
Which essentially is the same nation, but one claims David is theirs, the other claims David is there, and they both are, if you will, focusing on different aspects of his personality and his background. And in that context, conflict arises.
Yeah.
And what it shows me, biblically based, that anytime man gets in what appears to be a two-party system, which nothing wrong with the system, there's something wrong with the way we handle it, you're going to have varying degrees of sensitivities in those factions. And there's usually some extremists in both, like we have now.
Yep.
And there's usually some people, about 80% of the folk are where they need to be. And the extremists always feel neglected, and always in some kind of fantasy believe that their percentage of people can overcome the larger percentage. And what I saw this week was the culmination of 4 years of rhetoric, fueling what our president thought was going to be enough momentum to get him elected again. but neglected the fact that he may have been turning off more people than he could garner for support. And then to find out, through the 4 years that we've been talking about this administration, many of the Republican people that I've known for years were ignoring the things they've never ignored before, simply because their taxes were better, or they saw some income increases, or their investments were better. And what it revealed to me, and this is the heart hurt for me in this season, it revealed the lack of humanity in our nation.
Yep.
And it uncovered a political church that was void of sound doctrine.
Yep.
So I'm shocked, disappointed. But when you have people who have probably never had a physical fight in their life, and I'm speaking of our political representatives, who talk trash, incite people to believe things, repeat lies over and over again. And the lies bother me in this sense. If the support for the election had been for the Republicans, everything would have been legitimate. But they lost, and they lost profoundly.
Yep.
They say every legal right, okay, you took it to court.
Yep.
You got defeated 60 or 61 times. But if it was them, and the situation was reversed, why can't you guys accept the district judges that Trump put in place?
Absolutely.
So here's the issue. In order to keep position, and this is what's so heinous about this thing, they were willing to lie to these people over and over again.
Yep.
Even up to the point when the electoral votes were being ratified, continuing to still lie about something they knew was absolutely untrue.
Yep.
So now you've got not just the president indictable, but you've got Cruz, Hawley, and some other folk. I do have to give credit where credit is due. The young lady that was the senator from Georgia had sense enough in the same day to say, Kelly Loeffler, after the day's events, I can no longer continue to support what we've been saying. Because she knew it wasn't true, and she saw the fruit of their words. What we saw yesterday were people who wanted to believe that their politicians were telling them the truth, and they were lying. And the whole thing backfired. Because what it was supposed to do was stop the electoral count, change, and keep Trump in office. It all backfired. And then he comes out with this uncharacteristic, we need you all to be peaceful, let's have a peaceful transition. Transition didn't start after the riot happened. Transition started in November. And we haven't had peaceful transition. So you can't say now that it didn't work out, come on, let's all get along. No.
And then I think as of today, he still went back out to, y'all not gonna silence us. You can't trust him to actually keep that same premise.
He can't do it.
Now, let me help you out with something real quick, 'cause I was talking to somebody about this. My issue with some of those people now is y'all waited up until this time. Y'all defended his remarks for the past 4 years. And y'all act surprised it went this far. How did you think he was going to respond?
I think it's baseless. I think
Okay.
I think it's phony. I think it's insincere. I think now they're thinking about, we need, because they supported him because they thought they had done a good job to get him elected again. And Lindsey Graham, of all people, enough is enough. You could almost see him grinning while he was giving the speech. So I'm looking at his expression, not listening to his words primarily. I'm looking at his expression while he's thinking, and I'm saying this guy actually thinks he's running a hustle on these people, and some of them believed him. I don't think they believed him. He did what most of the politicians are going to do, expect us to forget 4 years of consistency because of 1 or 2 minutes, well, 2.5 minutes they gave him to say how they felt. When do you tell me what to do in another state? They would be livid if somebody did that.
Absolutely. Did you see where and he was in an airport and the Trump supporters were calling him a traitor? He was surrounded by police.
Wow.
And they were coming at him, you're a traitor, you let us down, da-da-da-da. I think he went on Fox News later and started changing his tune up again. Somebody must have called him. He's a spineless man. But I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man.
The thing is getting me. The people in his cabinet that are leaving and resigning, you don't get any brownie points right now. You got 2 weeks left.
No.
You're basically taking a vacation days until it's over.
No. You're getting out when you should have gotten out.
Yep.
I think McConnell told his wife, this is what's probably going to happen.
Yep.
You don't need to be in a position where you are going to have to sign on or say you wouldn't sign on to the 25th Amendment. The other lady, the education lady, been staunch behind him, done some horrible things to people, but she got out because they don't want to be responsible for having to deal with this 25th Amendment. So they jumped off the ship and think that people are naive enough. If this had been sporadic over 4 years, but they have supported every single thing. And here's the irony. They've watched him throw their co-Trumpers under the bus, even to the point that now the vice president has been thrown under the bus.
They say Mike Pence is pissed because Trump left him in the Capitol building. They said they were going to get Pelosi, Pence, and somebody else.
They're going to hang him.
They were going to hang them. And Pence is like, dude, after 4 years, you left me in this.
Delayed help coming.
But my thing is this: you saw him do it to everybody else.
It's an irony, even in our discipline. I've known, as I've counseled pastors during the years, I've seen where someone has been loyal to a person even though they were mistreating other people. And I actually asked a pastor I was counseling one time, why did you continue to support what you knew was wrong? And he said to me, and I quote, I never thought he would do it to me. So they were willing to watch him do wrong to everyone else, and had this thing, I'm different. After they've watched him throw people, even his family, under the bus to save himself.
Wow. That's crazy.
But this whole thing is not untreated in the Word of God. Because men, anything God gives people to unite them, men find a way to be divided.
Absolutely. And that's the crazy thing. And this whole thing, I was like, y'all need to think about this. I was talking to some people because they're trying to do false equivalencies.
Oh no.
The Black Lives Matter,
no.
they messed up a Target and a CVS. The Capitol building is not CVS
not Target.
Or Target.
No.
I need y'all to think about this. You got a Capitol building that's been over 100 years old. Relics, monuments, priceless. And the lives of Congress people. They delayed the National Guard on purpose.
Look, man, I could be wrong, but I think that if you are under the impression you can say whatever you want to say, lie to whoever you want to lie to, and stay safe, when that was breached, those soft people were never in those positions in their lives before. And suddenly, the fruit of their words manifested in their own chamber. And so now they're looking, oh my God, my words actually do matter. Because before now, they say whatever they want to say and then go out into the street and smile. But it's all been exposed. It's all backfired.
And lost Congress, lost the presidency. I was telling somebody, this was not an indictment against being a conservative. This is an indictment against being Trump.
That's right.
The issue is not you being a Republican.
That's right.
Issue being aligned with this mess going on. And
how is it that they had so much security for the Black Lives Matter rally in D.C. and had almost negligible security for this group?
Did you see all the videos of the police letting people in?
I saw videos of the police not only letting people in, I saw them taking selfies with people inside the building.
One came out yesterday where a police officer said, Capitol police officer, who was letting people walk by him, on camera said, you don't have to like it, but you have to respect it. This was planned.
Wow.
This was planned. The police were in on it. Well, not all of them.
Not all.
Some of them were in on it.
But there was some back doors left open for them.
Yep.
And as it relates to location, I saw the gentleman from the Carolinas last night.
Mm-hmm.
He said people that are experienced in that building can't find my office because my name's not on my door.
Mm-hmm.
How did they find it?
Yep.
And how do you come into a building with these?
The zip ties?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you intend to bind some people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. I'm telling you, it was primarily designed to stop the electorate. When the electorate process didn't stop that night, it had backfired.
Yep. They Trump back in December said y'all get ready for January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
He was sending the message to them.
Okay.
They had T-shirts made. January 6th, the day of the insurrection, Civil War.
Did you see some of the T-shirts though?
Yes.
6 million is not enough.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, the head.
I want to see how the real money in this country is going to react to that.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
6 million is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Koch brothers came out and said this is all wrong.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: we told them in 2016, if he loses, we would not be surprised that it would go somewhat this far.
Yep.
But we've both been to the Capitol building.
Yeah. Doc.
The security is
Doc.
intense.
Yes, sir. But here's the stupidity of it. Did you actually think you were going to invade the building and they were going to be taking your pictures every 2 seconds?
Thank you.
Did you actually think that?
Thank you.
We've got Keefe on the line. We've got Tom, 1-866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We are successful because you are so involved.
Yes, sir.
So why don't you give us a call? Let's go to Keefe from Lawnside. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm all right, Bishop. Welcome back.
Thank you, man. Welcome to On Point.
Welcome. Thank you. I called also last week, but
Turn your radio down in the back, Keefe. You're feeding back.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So one thing I want to say about this week, I've been hearing about it on TV, just watching it on my phone, and my thing is this. Especially what happened in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
It was a disgrace, Bishop, and just to think about it, and just to let things know, they gotta do something better.
Yeah.
Because, and the way I say it, and the readability or not, if something can change about it, I'm praying it does, and Biden gets to office, not allowing these riots and stuff like that to happen all of a sudden, because the only one thing that I'm tired of is riots, people polluting. I mean, it puts America in a downfall.
Yeah.
And with what happened with Trump, he needs to concede. I mean, he has about a week or so left, and I'm saying, what is he? I think I said last week that he could not have said anything other than whatever, and I'm saying to myself, I'm glad Trump is leaving. I pray that Biden and Kamala Harris do something better, and I pray that we can make it through the next 4 years of Biden and see what he does.
Yeah.
Because Trump is not on my favorite list, and my question is this: do you think that Biden and Harris can do a better job than Trump and Pence? Your thoughts and comments on that?
I absolutely do. I think one of the disservices that the incoming administration has is unraveling the mess that we know, but then there's the mess that we don't know about that they're going to have to deal with. Mm-hmm. We've got some international problems to deal with. We've got some national problems to deal with. We've got some COVID problems to deal with. We've got some economic issues to deal with. There are a lot of things, and people are forgetting the tax break. Everybody's talking about the tax break. It was only good for maybe 600 people, and those were the wealthiest people in the country. Now, what they forget is that tax break added another $1 trillion, $1.2 trillion onto the debt. So not only do they have to deal with the debt that was caused by that, they're going to have to deal with the debt of relieving people in this COVID situation that we're in, which is probably going to take it up to around maybe $3.5 trillion. So there's going to be an unraveling or a fixing an adjusting that has to happen first before some momentum and progress can be made. And then people start to ask him the craziest question: what are you going to do first? He's got a plate full of stuff that has to be addressed at the same time, which is why he's going to need all the talented people around him as possible to deal with. He has multiple priorities, is what I'm trying to say. So, but I believe he's surrounding himself with people that can deal with this stuff, and he's surrounding himself with people that have had jobs there before.
Yeah. Now, my last question is this: what do you think of? And I've heard about him running again in 2024. Now, what do you think? Do you think he has a chance, or do you think Kamala Harris will win?
If they, first off, if they impeach Trump, he can't run again.
Right.
Biden may try to run again. We don't know. Ms. Harris may try to run. We don't know. All that is unknown. I think the biggest problem now is that everyone that contributed to this problem we had the other day, the senators with their rhetoric, Cruz, Hawley, all those 167 that supported the lie to vote against the electors, all of them need to be held accountable because people died.
Yes, they did.
And this nonsense about, now they're suddenly calling for unity. Yeah. Where was your desire for unity before this week?
It wasn't nowhere.
That's right. So you can't tell me now we need to be unified so you don't hold us accountable for what we've been doing. That is totally wrong, and it'll make us look weak.
Yeah, it does. And I'll say it this way, because the only one thing that I had, trouble with Trump, because people say, oh, well, we voted for Trump. Oh, we voted for this. Well, Trump, in his 4 years of office, I can say he deserves an F for failure, because the one thing he has led us through is a down spiral.
Yeah.
He hasn't lifted us up. I can credit Obama. I can credit, Reagan, the late Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
But with Trump, no. He has to get off the book.
He's left a mess behind.
Yes, he has.
Thank you, Keith. We got to go, man.
No problem.
Talk to you.
Welcome back.
Bye-bye. Thank you. 1-866-743-8267. We've got Tom from Fort Lauderdale. You got something, Pastor Nick?
No, I was just looking at some new stuff. I'm trying to see if any new stuff popped up.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go to Tom on line 4. Tom?
Good morning.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
All right. Welcome to On Pointe again. You doing all right down there in Florida, man?
Oh, yeah, as long as I'm not in D.C.
Doc, I was watching your governor the other day, and all of a sudden he's criticizing the vaccinations for something he said wasn't a problem.
Yes, and the way they're handing them out is unbelievable. I have a friend who I hang around with who was 65, and he said, he made the call, and it took him approximately 2 days to first get through. They told him there's 26,000 people in front of him. But,
jeez. Golly.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of hit and miss. Some of the cities are doing well, some are not.
Yeah, but some of this is a people's issue. I know a family from Florida who insisted on having a family gathering at Christmas. Approximately 12, 15 people. We're all related. It'll be okay, blah, blah, blah. Everyone, and I'm not overestimating, I'm telling you what they told me, everyone got sick. I know of another family that said they got together. They thought it would be okay because it was just family. And by the 4th, the mother and the father, the grandparents, were dead.
Yep.
They're not taking this thing seriously enough.
You'll notice, and depending on where you're at, where people are hanging out. And what I don't understand is here in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, you can dine outside because it's still, today it's 70 degrees.
Okay.
There's still people who are going inside to eat in these restaurants.
What's wrong with it?
And why? Yeah, why, I don't understand.
But maybe I'm a little old, and perhaps you guys can tell me if I'm out of step. But I ain't gotta go out.
I don't have to. I've been out enough.
If I want to go out, I can wait till things get better. Why do I have to take a chance? And most of these restaurants are not equipped to exhaust the air every moment.
Yep.
And you don't know who's in there, and people are not eating with their masks on.
Yeah.
And I hate to break this to people, but not only can't Corona count, Corona doesn't know the difference between an inch and a foot.
Yep.
It doesn't.
There was a family who Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
they knew some of their family members had COVID
And met anyway?
and met anyway. Their thought was, well, if they stay in a different room, then the rest of us will be okay. And all of them caught it.
Because Corona doesn't crawl on the ground, it flies through the air.
Right.
Just silly.
And it can stay active on a hard surface for like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, man, it's just, but we're just we got to do what we want to do, and now they have the more virulent strain out.
Yeah.
And our behavior is not going to be good for this environment that way.
They're predicting another wave like last year.
Well, I would
March,
imagine. I'm waiting for the Christmas wave to come now.
Yeah.
But I'm also waiting for the riot wave. Watch this.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
riot wave to come from what happened in Washington, D.C.
Yep. That's true.
Because they were out there primarily maskless, shouting. That means particles were all over the place.
Yep.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they said 3,900 people died yesterday, I think.
Yeah, almost 4,000.
Yeah.
They say it's at about 4,000 a day now.
That's
That's totally amazing.
We won't learn.
Yeah. Bishop, you're talking about D.C. McConnell had I thought, a heart-touching speech right before the pandemonium.
Did she?
No.
McConnell?
Yeah, he pretty much laid it down before all this,
What did he lay
I
down?
was surprised.
What did he lay down?
Oh, he basically, said this should be over with. I'm tired of hearing it. It's a lie. The new president's going to be. It was a very good speech, and it was right before all of this craziness. And he was on the right side of history for that moment.
Yeah, but the problem is, he has been nip and tuck, attached at the hip, with the president and the president's untruths for the last 4 years, and he's been inhumane. How do you call yourself the Grim Reaper of legislation? And why is it that everything? And why is it everything that benefited the regular working people? I've been saying for almost 30 years, Republican policies generally benefit me, but they don't benefit the people that I serve. So it's impossible for me to be a Republican because the policies hurt the people that God has given me to serve. So you cannot be so inhumane purposely.
Yep.
But then his own state is the poorest state in the union. How's that work?
Yeah, because he continues to uphold their values, which they deem is more important than their economic progression, which is insane to
Wow.
me. Insane.
But the people kept voting him in.
I know.
So is he now considered a traitor by the people that stormed the building?
Well, now some of them now some of them are saying it.
At the
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah. Now some of them they're getting on him
Yeah.
and all those people. If they would have had enough sense on whatever day the votes were counted in November and it was
Yeah.
finalized.
Yeah.
If they all would have said it's over, rather than allowing all this push to go to court and all that stuff like McConnell and them, we probably wouldn't have went this far.
But the problem I thought was, Pastor Nick, that they were so busy trying to curry favor with Trump and with the base,
Yep.
that they just kept perpetuating these lies, never thinking, because it's never happened before, that what we're saying is going to cause a riot.
Yep.
And they never thought we can really say what we want to say,
Yep.
because in here, we're very safe.
Yep.
And those soft behind people got the fright of their life.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, now, it's wrong. He needs to resign. It's over.
Yep.
But where have you been up to that moment?
Absolutely.
Absolutely committed to the lies that have been told.
Yep. And the crowd is talking about coming back on the 19th and the 20th.
Well, let me tell you
This
something.
time they're coming with
Let me tell you something.
ready for war.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That's going to be a mistake on their part.
Yeah. They're going to have tanks all over DC.
Because the one thing that America can do is defend itself.
Yeah.
So they don't want to do this.
They gonna
but
have tanks.
But what the problem I have and I said this yesterday, if that group had been a couple hundred people with color,
Man,
we'd be talking about multiple fatalities.
been a bloodbath.
Everybody arrested.
Yep.
They wouldn't have gotten up the stairs. You hear me?
Mm-hmm. It would have been a bloodbath.
You heard what Biden said about that, correct?
Yep.
What'd he say?
He said his granddaughter called him from college and said, Granddad, it's unfair. He goes, what? He goes, if they would have been Black Lives Matter, they would have been tear gassed and shot.
That's right.
He goes,
Over less.
that Biden said that's absolutely right. That is correct what she said. We have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tom, we're praying for you in Florida, man.
Thank you.
I'm frustrated with our leaders because they keep making the same mistakes as it relates to this COVID thing. Every time there's a little relief, okay, let's open the gyms, let's open the restaurants. You guys can go back to having wedding receptions, go back to having parties with 35 people, as long as you have them in your backyard. They make the same mistake.
Our governor's worse than most.
I know, man. I hate to tell you that. I know. We see it from up here.
Okay.
He's wacky, man. He's wacky.
Dumb.
Thank you, man.
Hey, you guys take care.
Talk to you. 1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith, is here today. Give us a call, 866-743-8267. We have some lines open. One of our favorite callers, Danny from Lauderdale, Florida, is on. What you got, Pastor Nick? Anything?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Again, I apologize for trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make sense. I asked a conservative.
Yeah.
He was trying to explain to me why they're so passionate with this whole election thing, and they feel like it's being stolen and et cetera. I said, what do they say when the Trump lawyers go to court? The judges ask the lawyers, show me the proof, and they admit to the judge,
We have none.
We have no proof.
Right.
Silence, no response to it at all.
They stopped talking
They stopped talking, kind of went over it and answered.
because it is an emotional argument.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with facts.
yeah, yeah,
It's purely, what have we always said? The racial vote is never logical.
yeah, yeah. The bad part is some of these people are black.
Of course they are.
That believe this stuff.
Because they drank the Kool-Aid too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I have an issue. What Congress revealed to me a while ago is when it comes right down to it, they don't care what color you are.
Yeah.
It takes a little longer for them to do something unjust to people who are not of color. But when it comes right down to it, it's their agenda,
Yep.
their policies.
Yep.
That's the priority. If it happens to benefit you, fine. But we are assured of this one thing. You will vote for us even if we're hurting you.
Yep. Absolutely.
I find it amazing. If the election was rigged, now this is going to make too much sense. That's why it's not going to make sense to some people.
Yeah.
If the election was rigged, why did the only Republican on these tickets across the nation lose was the president?
Thank you.
Why didn't the people down the ballot lose also?
They picked up seats.
Okay, and why, if the election, that is what they said, the election was rigged.
Yep.
If the election was rigged, then does that mean your victories are also tainted?
Yep. They asked a lady that won. She said, "Well, if his was tainted, then how come you won? Are you want them to recount yours?" She said, "No, but we're talking about his." Like,
because they know it doesn't make sense.
Like, hello?
They know there's no equivalency in it.
There is none.
They know there's none. Let's go to Danny. Hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
Sir.
Bishop, good morning. Good morning.
Danny.
Good to see you back.
Yeah, what's going on, man? You doing good?
It's it's really confusing, and seeing the way that things are going, and makes you wonder what's what. But I'm just being faithful and knowing that God is moving in the whole situation, and our eyes are being open to a lot of things that have been going on for years, and some people don't want to admit it, but we actually see people for what they are.
Yeah, I think all this taking a stand at the last minute is very insincere. I think it's a survival tactic. I don't think it's sincere.
Yep.
And my mind goes back and seeing things that I had a chance to witness growing up and seeing things that have happened. Our people marching and doing it in a friendly, peaceful way, and seeing them trying to go over a bridge and seeing them attacked with dogs, water hoses, tear gas, what have you, did not anything. And as you said before, if they went to occupy a place or something like that, it was never way they went to the Capitol. They had a 1 million-man march, different things like that. They never attacked the Capitol or anything like that. But the Capitol, as you said, with the security, it was totally breached, and there was no way that was done with the people that were doing that without inside help.
I think they had some blueprints. I think they had some cooperative people among the police. I just don't think they wandered up those stairs and were able to hang off the bleachers for hours. I mean, the Maryland governor said, I called and asked, do you want me to send them? And it took them 90 minutes to get back to him.
Yep.
So if it takes you 90 minutes to get back to me, it's not like they can, what's that thing they used to do in Star Trek? Beam down.
Beam them up.
Then they had to load the vehicles, get the people together, drive the miles, then deploy. You're talking another 2 hours.
And the situation is that I was wondering, I said, are these people that are supposed to be protecting the Capitol, do they have any type of a weapon? The only thing I saw them draw out was a nightstick.
Yeah, well, not a lot of, only the Secret Service seemed to have weapons.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a gentleman that was being chased up the stairs.
I saw that too, and all he had was a baton.
Yeah.
No, he had a pistol.
He had a pistol. Okay.
He had a pistol?
The one guy saw it a baton too.
Yeah, one guy I saw had a baton. I didn't see anybody with a pistol.
He was waving the baton, but he never drew his pistol. And we have people of color that are standing in a garage, their property, okay, that are being shot.
Unbelievable.
You know, and you see these things because, as you said before, if it would have been Black Lives Matters or some other group, it would have been preparation beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're saying they had no knowledge. It was all over the internet.
It was all over the internet. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew. If they didn't know, here's what gets me. If they're saying they did not know, and you and I knew from watching social media, then all of them need new jobs.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if security and investigation and crime and all that is your business, and you're actually saying, well, I didn't know, it was like the president asking the governor of Georgia to say, I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
Because to agree with him, he would have had to say, we didn't do our job. And he wasn't willing to do that.
Not at all. Not at all. Find me 11,000 votes. Extra, you know.
Unbelievable.
But did you see this one lady, her father used to work, was actually one of the chief of police of the Capitol.
Okay.
He's retired now.
Okay.
She said, confirming it was an inside job. Because she said that when her father was in office, and he told her, one day when Farrakhan and 10 guys came to the Capitol, they had the whole thing guarded secretly. So if anything popped off with 10 guys, they were ready to come out. Showing you again, this was a complete inside job.
Yeah.
They were in on it, and they were cool with it.
I think because of the nature of the crowd, we're not going to have that big of a problem. And even if we do, you know, it looked like the Beverly Hillbillies coming to Hollywood. It was amazing.
It did.
It was like a Stevie Wonder song, skyscrapers and everything.
Right.
Now the thing that we have to watch now, Bishop, is the fact that during the whole situation, going back 2 months, when we had the escalation of numbers of fatalities with the corona, is that the president was nowhere to be found but the golf course.
Yeah, man.
My question was, why is he not concerned? This is the number one issue, but he's talking about the election.
Well, it wasn't about his job at all. They're concerned about making money, keeping his position, and hoping that the presidency was going to protect him from the Southern District of New York. But now he's got a bigger problem. I don't believe this Justice Department is going to let all this stuff go by for Cruz and all them. I don't believe they're going to let it go by.
No.
And Merrick Garland looks like a pretty mild guy.
Yeah.
but they pretty much mistreated him.
Oh, yeah, he going to come back with
Doc.
something. Yeah.
Man, we got to let you go, Dan.
Okay, Bishop.
Tell my sister I said hello.
Will do. Be blessed.
Bye-bye now. This is On
All
Point. We got Kim from Texas and Belinda from Phoenix. Let's go to Kim from Texas. Hey, Kim, how you doing?
I am doing well. How are you doing this morning?
We're working out, girl. What's happening down in Texas?
Oh, my goodness. Texas is Texas.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
So I was just calling in because I just happened to get to watch the events unfold with a group of my colleagues live as they were happening.
Oh, my.
And one of the things that we were taking note of was this is, again, one of those forest and trees types of things. And excuse me for putting on my professional hat as I discuss this, but prior to this event, you know, you had those white supremacists who tend to come out and support Trump, that tend to wave their banners and have their colors and wear their letters for their organizations. They had come out and they had stated that they would be out and they would be enforced on the 6th. However, they would not come out in their colors and wave their flags and all of those things because they wanted to blend in with the groups and with the people. They wanted to look like everybody else, and that is what we saw. So what we surmised as we were watching that event was what they were hoping was when they had that crowd of, we're going to a number of 30,000 people out there, they were hoping for a great groupthink event.
Okay.
When they marched them up to that Capitol building, those people who had turned out, those innocent citizens who had turned out thinking that they were going there for that rally of the Stop the Steal rally, that were being actually caught up and used as pawns for that, for what was the agenda of those supremacist groups that tend to come and do the bidding of Trump, that they were going to get caught up and swept up in the wave of things as we tend to see mobs do, and go along with it and push that inertia and help them in order to do that takeover and do that coup that they were hoping was going to be successful. However, like you said, a lot of those people, one, have never been in, and I know that you were referring to those senators and those Congress people, but a lot of those people really had never been in a fight in their life.
Never.
And then a lot of those people really weren't buying into the Stop the Steal. So when that started happening, where they were actually breaking and entering into a Capitol building, if you are a true patriot, then you're not about to break into a government building because that goes against your patriotism. So as you were watching it live, you started seeing those true patriots start slowly backing away and walking away. So they were losing that groupthink crowd that was going to push the inertia of that and keep that wave going and create the chaos that they needed in order to have their plan be successful, which kind of is what they were hoping would happen, to have all of that chaos and to be able to mask the plan of what they had. And it quickly fell apart when they didn't have people following in with them the way that they hoped to. Now, you did have a couple of people who were kind of just swept up into it and going into it and following, but the whole thing of what we were discussing and what we were talking and what we were seeing is that a lot of people are still talking about, oh yeah, these are the MAGA supporters. These are the people who were thinking that, oh, the Stop the Steal. No, this really wasn't the Stop the Steal group or the people who were like, oh, this here is the election. These really were the white supremacy groups. These were the Proud Boys. These were those, or all the other groups. All I can think of right now are the Proud Boy groups. And I feel like a lot of us are missing that whole agenda right there, still talking about this was the point of the election. No, that wasn't the point of the election. This, again, still is Trump calling on his white supremacist supporter groups to come and to help him to take over.
But here's the thing, Kim. It was amazing to me that he feels so privileged that he actually thought that if he disrupted the electoral count, he was going to remain president. And the whole thing just backfired on him, Kim. I can see some moms and dads who were politically concerned, who thought they were coming to a rally, and didn't know they were infiltrated by Proud Boys and other more radical groups, QAnon, those people, and okay, we're going to go up the steps. I'm not sure a lot of that crowd thought they were going to invade the place. Then the place comes in, and you watch the people walking through like they're on tour. They're not even knocking the ropes down. So that showed me something. I said, wait a minute. These people are looking around like they're on tour. They're taking pictures. I'm going to show my grandchildren. I'm going to show my husband, all this other kind of stuff. But then, like you said, Kim, in that crowd was another crowd that came in there to break windows, perhaps take hostages, because I don't know why you bring those risk things if you don't intend to take them. Just the whole aggressiveness, the whole vibe, the atmosphere, the sense of the thing was that, like you said, some people got caught up in the wave. The problem is you're not responsible. We're not responsible for you not making a decision not to walk up those stairs. And come in a building that you know it's not appropriate for you to come in without being invited.
That is absolutely true. And then one of the other debates that we started having was case law, where it doesn't matter, where we were talking about over the summer where you had several protests or several events that have happened, primarily where you have had groups of color, where you have had a crime that was perpetrated. And when you look at it, based on what we saw, they broke windows in order to get into the Capitol building. They were not invited, and that was some places they were not supposed to be in. So that was breaking and entering.
Yes.
Then you had people to go into other people's offices or into things, destruction of property, public property of a government building, and then people to take things out of it. So that was robbery. And then in the midst of that crime, a person was shot and killed. By case law, everybody involved in that act, regardless of whether you had intended for it to happen, you had planned for it to happen, several cases that have happened over the summer, everybody involved needs to be charged with murder. So that means everybody who had entered into and had participated, if they had been people of color, just based on which should be charged with murder. So if you have somebody and you're able to identify them based on things that have happened prior, then everybody is now guilty for that woman's death.
Well, they were accessories.
They were accessories, but they're not charged as accessories. They are actually charged with murder. You're not charged as an accessory. A person died. You are charged with murder.
Wow.
Not accessory, murder.
Wow. Thank you, Kim.
No problem.
Stay strong now. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. 1-866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Pastor Nick, before we take Belinda, I got to ask you a question.
Sure.
I've been watching my contemporaries for the last 4 years. Who's the guy in Texas?
Murdoch?
Not Murdoch. Mike. Who's the Baptist pastor?
Young? Is it Eddie Young?
No. The guy that raised 100 million.
Jeffries.
Jeffries.
Yeah.
Paula. I've watched them all be very vocal. Copeland. His son-in-law. His daughter.
Yeah.
I've watched them all very vocally. They're on video, so there's no secret.
Yeah.
Saying whatever they wanted to say. Actually inciting violence. The guy from Mountain Church in Texas, I watched it myself. We need to get our guns and get ready to do X, Y, and Z. He's a pastor. And what I watched was people of mixed heritage saying amen to what he was saying. So, the silence, what do they do now that this has culminated in this event? What are these religious leaders going to say?
Well, now, I've only seen two. Well, I know some may have, like Jensen Franklin, who, big supporter of Trump, came out and said, this is not what we support, peaceful, whatever. Mike Murdoch, on the other hand, this is live on his Twitter feed.
Okay.
Reposting stuff about this was Antifa. It wasn't.
Wasn't no Antifa.
Thank you.
Excuse my grammar.
No,
that wasn't Antifa.
Yeah, praying for the deceivers to be away from Trump. Some of them are hitching their ride to him. See, this is my biggest problem with pastors now.
Yeah.
They preach so much about Jesus being king, but they have more faith in a president to preserve Christianity.
Who's not a Christian?
Sorry.
Come on. I don't get why now, after all the things that he's done and said, why now they say this is wrong.
Yep.
You've been supporting everything that he's
Absolutely.
done, either through vocally being heard,
right,
or through your silence, because they have not objected to the heinous things that he has done to people.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, he was campaigning and say, go ahead and beat him up. I'll pay your legal bill.
Yep.
When he was campaigning, he's condoning violence.
Yep.
And that theme did not change.
Not at all.
You know, the whole Virginia thing, good people on both sides. People died.
Yep. Absolutely. And their whole thing's, well, he just says stuff, but let's not take him seriously. And I've heard people say that too. Let's not take him seriously. He just says stuff. Well, obviously a bunch of people are taking him seriously.
Well, I think that was the voiding of responsibility for what they were saying.
Yeah.
Now, we had 5 minutes, but Belinda seemed to have hung up. If you want to call back, Belinda, you can have the last 3 or 4 minutes of the show. We'd be glad to talk to you from Phoenix. If not, you can call us next week. We look forward to talking to you. I want to see, and I know a lot of these guys. I've been with them in meetings. I've been to seminars where I was the one of two or three black people in a group of 600 pastors. I said, so I've watched them, I've followed them, I've known them. On the other hand, you got guys like Mark that are really being ostracized by these guys right now. You know, but I go to a meeting in Florida, and found out that maybe half of the guys, maybe half, were Trump's supporters. Some of them prophets, quote unquote. And what happens to the prophets that have been consistent in saying that the Lord was going to work this out?
I got to show you
in Trump's behalf.
I got to show you a video. I'll text it to you.
Okay.
So some of them are coming out and apologizing.
Okay.
One in particular.
Apologizing or saying they're wrong?
I was wrong. I should have got it. I shouldn't have said this. I was wrong, obviously. Some of them, their view of prophecy is it's still going to come to pass. Before the 20th, God's going to work it out, and they're sticking to their guns.
That's silly. Is this Belinda calling us back?
Oh, yes.
Belinda, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, and good morning, Pastor Nick.
Thanks for calling us back.
Oh, you're welcome. I hung up because I couldn't see you, and I
Okay.
listened to the show.
We got about 2.5 minutes.
Okay, I'll try to make this quick. I'm trying to figure out how to frame this. I'm really not into civics and politics and all of that. But every time I hear them mention the GOP, and they say we're for small government and, business, individualized business, or taking it back to the states. First of all, when they say small government, I thought that the government is for the people. What do they mean by small government? The government is to govern the people.
Well, we know that, but really what it means is government staying out of our business. That's all that means. Government not telling us what to do. Now, notice what I said, government not telling us what to do. So if I'm small, if I'm small government not telling you what to do, how do you have a right to dictate my lifestyle? How do you have a right to criticize where I worship, who I worship?
Yeah.
If you're small government and you're letting people alone. But what they're really talking about is no regulations that keeps them from making profits, no regulations that legislates against them making money, whether illegally or safely or not. That's what small really means. Stay out of our business.
No accountability.
Let us, because you notice, President Trump reversed a lot of the restrictions that were on business doing things illegally.
Right.
So yeah, that's small government, uninvolved government.
It's a mess, and all of those people that are his followers. What's going to happen? Even though Trump is out of the office and he's gone, the people are still there.
Well, they must feel betrayed too, because he comes out with, it wasn't a concession speech, but he comes out saying, it's over, let's go, let's keep moving on. And some guy flew from Hawaii to get there to support that, and now he says it's over. Well, it was over in November.
Yep.
And I'm offended that you're going to talk to me about peaceful transition after you've been causing hell and havoc for the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And yes, some of his people will not be able to get jobs.
Yep.
They're done. Mm-hmm. Because they sacrificed themselves on the altar of Trump.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, and that they lied to him. The only way they could garner their support was to lie to him.
Yep.
Whole websites that substantiated lies that got them fired up because they believed their leaders, like we do.
Yep.
And they came out and thought, okay, if we do this, he's going to be able to stay in office. That was the thinking.
Yeah.
And it was a lie. But then you still have 100 and some Republican senators and congresspeople that were supporting that the election was bogus. Now, here's the thing. In every election, there are some irregularities.
Yep.
Everyone known to man. Somebody votes that shouldn't vote. Somebody lies. But not 6 million of them.
Right. And they're not talking about the votes that Trump got.
No.
That were
they're only talking about the votes that Biden got. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
How's things in Arizona? How you guys doing out there?
Oh, it's okie doke.
Okay. We'll be praying for you.
I'm thinking about going to Africa, sir. I'm telling you.
Well, they got a new strain of COVID over there. Don't go yet. Don't go yet.
It's so nice to talk to you all. Now, Pastor Nick was not around when I was talking to you when I lived in Houston.
Okay.
So he's new to me, but it's good to talk to you guys. And
Thank you.
I love to listen to you. You're so knowledgeable, and that's why I thought I'd get your take on this. What are they talking about?
Yeah. God bless you, girl. Thanks for calling us back, too.
Yeah.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Talk to you now. Bye-bye.
Day.
This has been On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America with my world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Please join us tomorrow. Our service times are 8 and 11. I'm sure we have some stuff broadcasting in the afternoon.
Well, during the Gauge live time in between 8 and 11 o'clock service.
Live time between 8 and 11, and then we're having a conversation about the message. And,
10,
Looks like we've been getting some very good feedback from it. We want you to join us tomorrow. Do we have anything happening the rest of the day that they can join us online?
They're probably replaying something.
Replaying some things at 6 o'clock.
I don't know.
Just look on the website and join us. And remember now, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. I want you to get ready to shift the needle in your life. Talk to you soon.